Tina's in Lynn to wear, but the colour just kept
It's
moving.
so damp, isn't it, outside? It's so damp.
Yeah.
I feel that lovely, beautiful weather.
But only like about maybe a week ago it was all great, right?
Yeah.
Last week, like
Heat wave last
yeah.
week.
Make sure sunshine.
I
So
spy.
we have had, good thing is we have had proper summer this time. So it is pretty
7
good.
weeks.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Why don't you see?
I don't mind it cold.
Is this being filmed as well, Pancake?
It's like this when it's damp.
No, I felt that we were getting all this summer day in and day out for so long, non-stop, because I was setting my intent.
I'm pleased
So I was doing it, and the moment I stopped doing it, suddenly it's like raining again.
It's your fault.
That's your fault. Can you do it again, please? Just one more week of sunshine.
So yeah, it could be very well a coincidence. Yeah, it could be a coincidence. I'll be selfish, like Anjula is saying, I'll be selfish only when I have to go out, when I plan to go out. That's when I would set my intent, so it'll be sunny where I go.
Did you put this cushion here?
Put that there, ain't it?
Just at the door.
Right.
Back?
Mum, just at the door.
Yeah.
Where's your water?
I've got it. Do you want this bit filmed as well, Pancake, or not?
What's that?
Not filming this bit.
No, no, wait.
Film it, yeah?
It's already on record.
Oh, okay.
Alright, great, welcome again. Namaste.
Namaste.
We are, by the way, you were not there in the previous session. We are filming these sessions, so if you do not like to be filmed, you could maybe go on to the other side.
Say hello to the camera.
I'm alright.
Okay, great.
Should you be at work?
Oh yeah, I should be at work, yeah. No, don't.
So now, as I said in my previous session, that this Bhagavad Yoga, the practice that I'm following myself, and possibly, I would hope that some more people would follow. That particular practice is about having your own connection with God and using that to manifest things in magic. So it uses a combination of two things. Power of Kundalini, which has been around for thousands and thousands of years in Hindu culture. And then law of attraction. This is quite a recent Western phenomena which started in America. And most of the people know about law of attraction through a film called The Secret, which became a worldwide hit.
I love the law of attraction.
So almost everyone you talk to, they've watched that film, they've tried to manifest things, and then they've given up. Same thing happened with me as well, But I knew there is more to it. I knew that there was magic in life, because all my life, a lot of times I've seen that what you do and what you actually get quite often does not have any correlation whatsoever. Because a lot of times I've seen that I don't do anything and suddenly things just come to me. A lot of times I do everything perfect, but still things just go wrong, things beyond your control, things just circumstances, people. So I realized that there's more to it. It can't be just random coincidence, but I could not buy into that belief that there is one person called God, which is like writing our destiny and which is doing things for us. I did not ever believe that. So I knew there is more, some more scientific logic behind it, which is making those things happen. So when I watched that movie, The Secret, I knew that that's the truth. I just could not figure out the real process to make things manifest deliberately. And I talked to a lot of people, that's what happened. So with a lot of people. So since then I've been trying to experiment with different techniques, simple techniques that if you follow step by step, then you would get that magic back and you would be able to manifest things that you want. So this is what this particular session is all about, where each session we will discuss one particular step in that process. And so that you would have a whole week to practice that step, get to a stage, and then next week you would practice the next step, so that within a few weeks, once you've gone through those set of steps, you would start seeing some results in your life as well. And another thing we would do is, after we have discussed that one step, where I would tell different processes that you can follow for that particular step, manifesting that step. So there is an overall process where you go have these different steps, and for each step, making that step happen in your life, there are again processes that you could follow as well. So we would discuss one first step and some processes related to that today, and then we would apply on some examples, real life examples. So if you are brave enough to volunteer, then you could say like certain things that you want, and then we could try to apply those processes on that particular instance, real life scenario, and see how that might work. And there are certain rules though. First of all, we have to understand that this gathering is not about trying to convince anyone of law of attraction or trying to sell anything to anyone. Okay, it's a free session. I'm not going to ever make any money from these sessions. Okay, God's grace, I have enough money of my own. So basically, it's about people who already believe in law of attraction and want to figure out how to make it work more effectively, rather than people who want to be convinced that it is working. So at any stage, if you feel like arguing that it doesn't work or that's not right or that's wrong, I would say that it would be better for all of us together that you just leave, and rather than try to expect someone to convince you or argue with you or discuss with you. So every person's views are respected, including disagreements. But if you do not believe in these things, there is no reason for, there should not be any need for you to continue, because that's not the agenda. Second thing is, as per law of attraction, if you discuss problems or issues, then you manifest more of them. And if you discuss it in a public gathering like that and it affects other people's thoughts, then even those problems would spread and affect other people's as well. So under no circumstances we would have any discussions about the problems or issues. Because this is not a support group, it's not a help group, it's not like to provide some emotional support, listen to your problems and those kind of things. Whenever any person deviates towards any problems or issues, please do not mind, because I would interrupt that person and ask that conversation to move towards the positive side. So what we would be discussing is, let's say when you run into a problem or when you have issue, that's what you don't want. But every time you don't want something, you immediately get a desire. What is it that you do want? So for instance, I don't have money. I don't want that. So what do I want? I want lots of money. So we would only talk about wanting lots of money, not about, oh, I don't have money. Okay, so at every stage, this is one thing you have to do. And this is very serious. This rule has to be adhered to very seriously, because we don't want, just because somebody is so strong about negativity around their lack of money, and that they discuss it so emotionally that it affects others, and they also start running into money problems in their own lives. And this, trust me, that does happen. So we don't want to discuss any of that for benefit of all the people who are gathered here. Then you would just state what you want. Like whenever you have an issue, you say, in your mind you say, I don't want this, but what do I want instead? So then you think of something. I don't have good health, I want good health, So we only talk about what you want. But there is no need to explain, because any desires, and we will talk about in future sessions, why all the desires are important, all the desires are good. But for now, just assume that there is nothing wrong. If you have certain circumstances in your life which make you want certain things, there's nothing wrong with that. So you don't have to explain why you want it, even if it's something unconventional, even if it's against your religion beliefs, even if it's against rules of society, it doesn't matter. And we'll talk about in future sessions why, at the right time. So also, because having said that, that also means that you would end up having certain judgment, because let's say if you have Catholic belief, then a lot of sexual practices might turn you off and you would think against, or let's say there are a lot of issues like monogamy, polygamy, and all those things that always cause a lot of concern. Obviously we're not talking about harming someone, violence, or those kind of things here. Those are unlawful activities. We would not tolerate that. That's not the right forum for that. But then there are a lot of other things that religion or society imposes, but there's nothing wrong with them, really. It's just maybe Pope says something, or some religious leader says something, or your mate says something. There's nothing wrong. So we would try not to have any judgment. The reason is that it's for your own benefit. If you have negative emotions about certain things, let's say if someone has a desire and you have negative emotions about that desire because your religious belief says it's wrong, then most likely you would run into your own issues in your own life which are related to that. So every time you judge others negatively about something that they do, you run into the same problems in your own life. So it's for your own good that you release that judgment for the time being, and we'll keep talking about it as we go along. And also be discreet about what the others are saying and treat it confidentially. Since we are recording it, so let's not discuss any issues that you think should be treated confidentially while the camera is on. Keep those issues till the end, and in the end we can switch the camera off and discuss those issues, or you talk to me one-on-one after this session. So, but on the other hand, if we do talk about some issues when the camera is switched off, within the group, then treat it confidentially. Let's respect that person's judgment, that person's desires, that person's circumstances which led to those desires. Simply because we don't want those issues to start creating problems in our own lives. And so, as we were talking about, first of all, law of attraction says that like attracts like. It's about thoughts. Whatever you think about, that's what you get. You have to have uttermost belief in this before you could have any kind of benefit from these sessions. So if you don't believe that, you would have to figure out how to get that belief back. Look around you, your own life circumstances. I can see every single time, whenever my state of mind was, if I'm in a confident state of mind, I get the job. If I'm not in a confident state of mind, I get rejected. If I'm in a confident state of mind, I get the contract. If I'm not confident, every time I can see that there are patterns that keep playing in my life. So I know all of that is true, right? So you look around. People who complain about not having money usually don't have enough money. People who think that money comes easily and they could just go and get something, they're usually rich. So just look around. People who talk about sickness or illness usually are all sick and ill. So look around. Once you believe it, that's when this would start working for you. The reason it happens is that we are all vibrational beings, and our thoughts are also vibrations. Common sense dictates that if we have sense of love for someone, right, and when we talk to them, regardless of what we say, they can sense that love, they can feel that love through our vibration. Don't feel like talk to someone, suddenly we get those vibes. The vibes are just short form for vibrations. It sends those vibrations. So we get the vibes, good vibes, bad vibes, and that's how we spread vibes. And when we talk to a lot of people, we spread those vibes, and that's how people start liking us, disliking us, reject us, accept us, sign the contract, not sign the contract. So even without any magic in our lives, even if you don't believe in magic, you know that through our vibration, when we talk to people, we influence them positively or negatively. That's how we win contracts, we get money, we get jobs, we don't get jobs. A lot of things happen. So that doesn't require magic at all. That's just interaction with people. That's the normal interaction. So just by working on your thought and your vibrations, if you feel love for someone, and you talk to that person, you'll be able to communicate that love, then that person is more likely to love you back. It's common sense. We've all seen that in our lives. So we don't need magic to even reach there. That's something that can be done just by changing our own vibration. But if you believe in that, trust me, even the magical things will start happening. But this alone is enough. Means if you have that power to influence people through your vibration, why won't you? What's wrong with that? Forget about magic. Means if you can talk to people through your vibration, get contracts or jobs, do you need any other bigger magic than that? Get people to like you. Why do you need other magic? So that's what basically we need to think about. So one of the main things we have to understand is that when we have positive emotions like happiness, joy, love, then it manifests positive things that we want in our lives. Because at that point, like I said, once you have worked on your Kundalini, you would start sensing it, that you would have that connection with God, connection with Source, and you would be able to feel that well-being flowing through you, and you would be able to manifest those things. Whenever you are feeling negative emotions, that means you are disconnected from Source, and then things that you don't want, or things that are unpleasant to you are going to manifest in your life. So you're going in the wrong direction. So those negative emotions are not bad. They're just warning bells that your inner being, which is connected to God, connected to Source, is giving you warning that if you continue on this same chain of thought, you're going to get in trouble. So you better change your thoughts. You think something different. You do something different. So it's just a warning. So we need to start paying heed to that warning. So one of the things that through my meditation, when I saw how the universe is how the universe looks like from outside, the edge of the universe. So basically what I noticed was that the universe is the reason it was called Brahman originally, is that Brahma means like a very large divine thing, and And means oval, like And means egg or oval shaped object, So it's a very, very large oval object, that universe, and it's expanding. And beyond that edge of the universe, there is a field of energy. And after some part of that field of energy, there are bubbles, small bubbles, big bubbles. These are all the thoughts that have ever been thought until now. Every single thought that has ever been thought still exists in that energy field. And the way universe, the physical manifestations occur is that all of these things combined together, those thoughts, this energy field, this universe, that whole consciousness, it's all within the consciousness which I call Source or God. So that's the collective of all the thoughts, the whole consciousness, all of that energy and universe, everything that there is. Everything that there is. Because if you look at any religion, they all say that everything that there is God. That's what there is. And universe is expanding. I haven't been able to figure out, take my awareness beyond that stage, I've hit a block. I haven't been able to figure out what's beyond those thought fields, but I know someday I will. So those thoughts actually become manifestation into physical things. Because when you think about it, this wall, this painting, cars outside, like almost anything that we see outside, everything has been thought by someone. That's why it exists. The space travel, you think about it, you get divine inspiration, you invent it, and it exists, And similarly, at a higher level, if that's what happens in our life, what makes us say that even at higher level, at galactic level, universal level, that's not what is happening, that the higher being is thinking, that's what is creating these things. So these thoughts pass through that energy field, and these things manifest into that universe. So that's the power of thoughts. And since we are also connected to that source through our inner being, through our Kundalini or our soul, whatever you would like to call it, so we have all of that power. We have our own little universe around it, and we can shape it the way we want through our thoughts. And that's what law of attraction is all about. Now, in terms of the step-by-step process, what we would do is, because it's a little bit complex to try to make it work all at once, because if in secret they just say you just visualize something and it happens. I tried visualizing it, it didn't work. Because I realized there are lots of resisting thought patterns. Because whenever you visualize having money, the fact that I don't have that money right now is holding me back, because I'm getting that resisting thoughts. Oh, I want money, but I don't have it. When do I get it? If I don't get it. And that's the way it works. And that's the reason secret did not work for a lot of people, because the resisting thoughts that have been holding them back. So I realized that they got it the other way around. They got it the wrong way around. So first you need to work on yourself and release those resisting thoughts before you could try to figure out what you want and start manifesting them. So there has to be a step-by-step graduation where you would reach that stage. So in my case, for quite some time I could not manifest anything at all. And by the time I realized I was doing it the wrong way, it was quite a bit of time, And then I realized that first I need to find that bliss, that inner bliss. So through meditation, through my Kundalini soul, through my connection with God, I found the bliss. So right now, I'm always happy. I'm always blissful. I'm in a state of joy. I don't care whether those things manifest in my life or not, but I know they will. But a lot of things have manifested. I got all these messages and divine inspiration, so which is different. But because that's what the main things I wanted for. I didn't want to ask for money at that point. Those were the main things, the biggest things I wanted, and I got them. So these things do happen. So main thing is that you have to achieve that bliss. And once we work on our thoughts, principle is that once you have the right thoughts, the right kind of people, circumstances, events will start lining up. It's very simple. Why is it that, usually in a, let's say in a college, right? In a school or college, university, you see that lots of people who are similar, they automatically drift towards each other and become friends. They start hanging together. It's common sense. In offices, people who are like, really bitchy about each other, they suddenly like start hanging together. People who are really hardworking and they do well, they start hanging together. And people like me, who do a lot of work, to, who make a big difference, usually are alone. Because there are not that many people like that. So basically, you see all these people like they're in groups. They automatically drift towards each other. You've seen that happen in natural life. Even any gatherings, same thing happens. It just happens unconsciously. We don't realize. We just keep attracting because of our vibration. We know that we would feel good with these people. We're comfortable with the same people. So if it can happen with people, why not with other events, things, and circumstances? Common sense says most likely there is something to it, to this theory. We have seen it happen. So we are going to follow this step-by-step process. So first step is, before we actually start manifesting anything at all, we have to release our resisting thought patterns. And one of the first steps that we have to do, which we are going to cover this session, and then next step we'll cover in the next session and so on. First step is, you have to make peace with where you are. Okay. Unless you make peace with where you are, you can't go anywhere else. So your intent, the first intent that should be that I am where I am and I'm pleased with it. So that's the intent. If you can all close our eyes and set that intent, and then we'll talk about how to make it work. And say it with your heart, in your mind, a few times. I am where I am and I'm pleased with it. And observe if you're getting any resistance or negative thoughts when you're saying it or when you're making it happen. Try to smile while setting any intents. And observe any kind of negativity or resistance that is stopping you from doing that. The smile or saying these things. So basically what is happening is that it's very important in law of attraction to set the intent, because if you don't consciously decide and be clear to yourself what you want, you definitely won't get it. You may get some random things, but not necessarily exactly the things that you want. So it's common sense that if you want something, you have to be clear what you want. If you want to go from point A to point B, if you want to go from London to Birmingham, you have to know you want to go to Birmingham. You can't just randomly start driving off not knowing where you're going. You'll end up somewhere, but not exactly, where you want to go. Right? So anything you do, you have to set the intent. This is what I want. If you are going for a job interview, I want this job. I want to do well in this interview. Right? If you just go randomly, you don't know what might happen. So one of the things we have to understand is whatever we focus on, that's what keeps increasing. Again, that if people do gardening, you would know that if you focus on some certain plants or certain sections of garden, they flourish. The parts of the garden that you don't focus on, they start withering or they don't do that well. If you have children that you focus on a little bit more positively, they basically end up having better upbringing than, let's say, some of the children that you have been trying to ignore or you have negative emotions about. So even in jobs, let's say if you have multiple things, whatever things you focus on, those things are, perform better than some of the tasks that you don't focus that much on. So whatever you focus on gets better. Whatever you don't focus on, it starts to get out of your life. So the easiest thing is you focus on good things in your life, then good things will keep expanding. You'll keep getting more of them. They'll keep getting bigger. And you start ignoring bad things. Bad things will start getting out of your life. Because it's your focus that keeps those things in your life, whether positive or negative. So that's one of the simpler things to achieve. But having said that, saying it is, easier than actually doing it, because I found it so hard. It took me months and months and months to sometimes release some of the basic thoughts that I had been struggling with. So, and depending on what your circumstances are, what your thoughts are, it might take quite a while to release those thoughts as well. But you have to understand this principle that you have to only focus on good things for good things to happen. And for anything big to manifest in your life, some of the small things you may be able to manifest. Like as soon as I started law of attraction, immediately I was able to start getting parking space. Cockfoster, I get free parking every time whenever I go there. Okay, Cockfoster station. Free parking, it's 4.5 pounds over there. People struggle to find parking, and I get free parking every time I travel, take tube. So these are simple things to manifest simply because there is no resisting thought patterns. But those are small things as well. Big things like my eyesight took quite a while. Reason was that there were so many negative thoughts beyond that I had to overcome, that it was very difficult to go beyond those negative thoughts and start those manifestations. So one thing you have to understand, unless you let go of some of the resisting thoughts, unless you are at peace with where you are right now, most of the big things may not manifest in your life because there will be too much of baggage inside you which will stop you from getting that. And that's exactly what stopped a lot of people from being able to manifest things as per the secret. So here, so I am where I am and I'm pleased with it. It's a very powerful intent. If you have to make peace with your circumstances, so how are we going to do that? So one of the simplest things is show gratitude, count your blessings. I have not come across a single person who does not have something to bless within the circumstances. So for instance, just focus on the good things you have, the blessings you have. For instance, somebody doesn't have any money, right? So they are focused on not having money, but they have maybe a loving family. They could focus on that. Maybe they have good health. They could focus on that. Maybe somebody doesn't have any partner. Maybe they have a good job, which at least pays the bill, not as much money as they want. Maybe they don't even have a job. Then imagine what a good country you live in, where the government pays for your housing and all the benefits, all your food. Just be thankful for that you have a house to live in and government pays for your food, for all the benefits you get. And even if you don't have any benefits, let's say, well, maybe you're put up with a friend's house, so be thankful for those friends who are letting you live in their house. Doesn't matter what circumstances you're in. There's always more things to be thankful about than the things that you lack. Always. The reason is that the well-being flows through universe. That's the main basis of this universe. You would always find more things to be thankful about than things that you lack. So you would have relatives, friends, family members, something, your health, something or the other. So that's what you need to do. And also what happens is that, like we did a ritual before in the previous session about how to raise your Kundalini, right? So use some of those rituals like prayers. Pray to God, about all the things that you have. Use crystals or gemstones. So Lynn can sell you some of them, where, some of those crystals, if you believe, they actually have some of those powers, and you just use them. Every time you have gratitude, you thank those crystals, touch them, thank some holy angels, spirits, spiritual guides, whatever you can. Because those things sometimes reinforce some of the beliefs you have and combine them together to make them more powerful. You don't necessarily need to do that, but it helps if you can't get to do it without any help. So any person who needs external help in being able to achieve this gratitude, sense of gratitude, can use these external tools. It helps. One of the most important things, you will see that a lot of these enlightened beings, whether somebody like Mahatma Gandhi or people who, like people who rise into the position of Pope, or a lot of these people who are enlightened, they basically always have very, very good things to say. Like for instance, Gandhiji, he had 3 monkeys. So one monkey had his hands on his ears, other on his eyes and mouth. Very simple. See no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. Because if you have some negative circumstances, if you're going to see it, talk about it, or speak about it, thoughts will keep increasing and you'll keep getting more and more of bad things. But if you can't control your thoughts, at least you can control your mouth, you can control your eyes, you can control your hearing. So if you hear something like that, walk out or ask them to not speak about that. Just go somewhere else, do something else, close your ears, whatever you need to do. If you're about to speak something, remember that you're not supposed to speak about it. Stop speaking about it. If you see something related to that, don't say it. Close your eyes, go somewhere else, do something else. If you're struggling to control your thoughts, at least that is easier to control. Because these are physical actions, they're much easier to control. Because nobody is forcing you to listen to somebody blabber about not having money. You always walk out. Right? So you don't need to. So this is one of the first steps in being able to control your thoughts. Don't talk about it, don't see it, don't hear it. That's much easier to control. And once you reach that level, then obviously you would find that even controlling thoughts is much easier. Then motivate yourself that you have to remember that that past is what is holding you back. That you keep thinking about it, keep observing all these things, you keep talking about those things, and that's what keeps that problem in place. So even if, let's say, you get some medicine, something happens, you would see that people keep getting the same illnesses again and again. Once they get cured, they get it again. They get cured, they get it again. The reason is that they have that thought patterns which keep bringing the same issues back into their lives again and again. So basically motivate that, I don't want that, right? So that means I need to change something to get out of that cycle, to get out of those patterns. And think about it, that would you rather continue to have the same pain or would you rather like have a better life? That's a motivation enough to change. And then also remember that these things are, basically just because you lack something, it also means that your desires are enhanced, which means you're more likely to get those things when you release your thoughts. Because strength of the desire is also related to how quickly or easily you manifest something. So if you really are in pain about something, that means your desire is also equally strong. So if you let go of this resisting thought, those things would manifest very quickly in your life. So motivate yourself that way. If nothing else, you could always say it happened for a reason. Whatever happens, it happens for a reason, You were meant to learn something from it. We all say that, right? There's nothing wrong. It's always a learning experience. So just learn from it, move on. You are where you are. There's nothing wrong with where you are. You are all fine. Perfectly fine. And you're doing well. You have pretty much almost everything you need right now. So just accept that you have everything you need. You want more, that's great. It's not like something's going to fall apart if you don't get it. You're still fine. You have your health, you have family, you have jobs, you have money, you have food, you have clothes, you have everything. You have cars, whatever. You have everything you need. So just accept that. You want more, that's great, but you have everything you need. Then you might even say that it's destiny, that brought you here. Because when you are not in direct control of your own life, then it's just destiny playing your part. But on the other hand, you can change that destiny, right? You could basically use law of attraction to start manifesting a different future for you. But if you don't follow any deliberate control over your life, then whatever happens to you is destiny. What else can you call it? It's just something that's happening which you have no control over. So would you rather live a life where you have no control, or you want full control? But at least whatever has happened, you say that it was destiny, but now I can change my destiny. Move on. One of the main things you have to remember is, as per law of attraction, if you believe in it, you have to understand that it was all brought to you by your own thoughts. Whatever happened to you was brought to you by your own thoughts. So you can't blame anyone. If bad thoughts attracted bad things into your life experience, then good things would attract good things into your life experience. So if your thoughts can create some negative experience, your thoughts can also create a positive experience and release the negative experience. So you have to remember that, And once you know that, you will find a very powerful understanding and urge to be able to release the negative thoughts and create positive thoughts, because you would want that positive experience in your life. And so just say that it was not because of some external things or external circumstances, it was because of my own thoughts, my own vibration which attracted those things, and I'm going to change my vibration and attract something different in future. If you don't believe that, law of attraction won't work for you, so probably this gathering is not right. So one of the easiest things, and then also remember that that how good it would be to fulfill those desires that are manifested. Every contrast, every negative experience brings about us a lot of desires which feel good. So imagine that maybe that was the reason for those things, those desires, to get those desires. And then those desires, how wonderful it would be if those are fulfilled. How good it would feel. So that was that, to achieve that state of joy is probably why you went through that experience. So, and this is the cycle of life. You get certain experiences, which sometimes pleasant, unpleasant. Based on that, you get certain desires. You fulfill those desires, you feel joy, and that in that sense of joy, you connect to God. You are in line with your own inner self and your connection with God. And then you get more desires. That's the cycle of life. You just keep doing that, because your desires would never end. Because we came into this body to experience the manifestation of those desires. We had certain desires when we took this body. That's the reason we chose this body, not someone else, somewhere else. We chose the circumstances we were going to be born in, because we wanted certain experiences. And then we have added to those desires as throughout our life. We keep adding to them, and we keep fulfilling them. That's what we are here for. There's no bigger purpose, because every desire is expanding the universe. Every thought is expanding the universe. That's what it is. So these are some of the things that you could do. And one of the most powerful, so gratitude is one. Okay? And the other process that could be followed is, wouldn't it be nice process. This has been described by Abraham in one of the books. That wouldn't it be nice process. So every time you have a negative experience, or you're struggling with some of the negative things in your life, negative circumstances which you're not able to let go, just say, I don't want that in your mind. Well, what do I want instead? Oh, I want this. Wouldn't it be nice if that happened? 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 Oh, I don't have enough money. Well, I don't want that. So what do I want instead? I want to be rich. Wouldn't it be nice if I became rich? Wouldn't it be nice if I were a billionaire? Wouldn't it be nice if I had a nice Ferrari? Wouldn't it be nice if I had a big mansion? Right? So that is one of the easiest processes that you could implement. The reason is that when you say, I want this, sometimes that belief holds you back, saying that I can't get it. I want to be a big billionaire, Oh, but how am I going to get there? So if you don't believe it, you're not going to get it anyway. So that belief holds you back, so you're unable to get it. But wouldn't it be nice? There is no belief involved. So you're able to think whatever you want without any negative emotions. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I had that Ferrari? Wouldn't it be nice if I had a partner like that? Wouldn't it be nice if this happened? Wouldn't it be nice if that happened? So that is one of the easiest, gratitude, this is the second process, that is one of the easiest processes to start letting go of the negative thoughts. So every time you catch yourself in some negative quagmire, circumstances or events, I don't want this, what do I want instead? Won't it be nice? Won't it be nice? And the last thing is, have conversations with yourself. Basically, you have certain thoughts, right, which are negative thoughts. Oh, I don't have money. But then, what is it that slightly better thought which makes you feel slightly better than that? Oh, but I do have enough money for paying for food. Slightly better? Yeah, I can afford my car. It may not be a good car, but I have a car. Slightly better than the feeling of like total lack. It's good thing that at least I have a job which pays me some money. May not be enough, but at least I'm getting some money. Slightly better, right? So, slightly better thoughts could be like feeling of revenge. If you're in complete depression, getting angry thought, trying to blame it on someone could be helpful, right? Just let it all out, just in your mind, not obviously on the face, but in your mind, blame it on someone. And once you started blaming it on someone, then try to get even better. Show frustration that, okay, fine, I can't change that person, so who cares? Let him be, like, I need to do something else, whatever. Then from frustration, keep feeling slightly better, slightly better, slightly better. And we'll see some of the examples with maybe some situations, if some people volunteer. And then just try to you would see that at any thought process, any stage you are in, you would always be able to feel slightly better than that. And then once you stabilize there, you'll be able to feel slightly better there. And if you have those conversations with yourself, pretty soon you would find that you're in a state of bliss, just like I have been. You would reach a stage where it won't even matter if any of those things manifest in your life or not, because you're happy with the way you are. You're at peace with your circumstances. So, but then once you reach that stage, you're more likely, far more likely to start getting those things. So I've noticed that I've interviewed thousands of people. I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people in my life. And I can see that when somebody walks in, what state of mind they're in, because I got practice, right? So I can sense whether they're desperate about a job or they're not, whether they're confident or not, what sort of vibrations they have. You can sense that. And then that's what, like a lot of people, because I practice, so I can sense that, but a lot of people, without even practice, they just know. They have those vibes, and that's how they accept or reject those people. So any person who walks in with the right kind of vibration is more likely to get that job, be able to influence that interview. Because you must have seen that person, two people saying exactly the same words. You believe in one person but not the other. Why is that? It's the vibration. The words are the same, the vibrations differ. So if you're working on those vibrations, if you have the right vibration, you would always start getting, it's automatically possible that you would get those results that you need. So this is the first step. Make peace with yourself. Set your intent. I am where I am and I'm pleased with it. Remind yourself every day. Whenever, especially when you have any negative emotions about your circumstances, try to get into the feeling of gratitude. Count your blessings. Find the good things in your life. Focus on those good things. Start ignoring the bad things. Follow wouldn't it be nice process. I don't want this. What do I want instead? Oh, wouldn't it be nice if this happened? Wouldn't it be nice if that happened? And then have conversations with yourself. Keep finding better feeling thoughts, slightly better feeling thoughts, slightly better feeling thoughts, slightly stabilize at each platform, keep moving up, keep moving up, keep moving up. And pretty soon you'll be in a happy place. And once you're in a happy place, you'll get things that you want. So that's the first step and first few set of processes. So let's try to take a few examples in real life, in different situations, how we could apply these situations. Does anyone want to volunteer a real life situation that you want to struggling to deal with?
I'd like to have perfect health. Not even good, I'd like to have perfect health.
Yes. You would like to have perfect health. So basically right now, tell me your pain point. This is an exception because we're talking about being at peace with yourself. So I need to know exactly what is the main pain or resisting thought that is causing the problem, so that we could try to move up the emotional scale on that.
So you want me to tell you where the pain is?
What is the main pain point which has caused this desire?
Having ME. So
Okay.
I'm feeling very tired a lot.
Okay. So yes, so that is the negative circumstance that has created negative experiences in your life, and you want to release that, right? So that has created the desire of wanting perfect health, right? But just wanting that perfect health is not going to get that, because you have this condition that you have to observe on a daily basis. You have to take action related to that. So it keeps reminding you of that, and that focus on that keeps that position in there, right? So what is it that you could do to let go of the resisting thought and be happy with whatever the condition you have and be at a place where you are? Can you think of something slightly more positive? Let's start with this processes one at a time. Gratitude. Let's say you have this condition. Can you count some blessings?
I am grateful that it's allowed me to spend more time with my children.
Perfect. Perfect.
I wouldn't have had that if I'd been working the hours that I was working. So it's allowed me to spend more time with my children, be closer to them.
Yeah, so a lot of people struggle to spend time with their children, and because of this condition, you're spending more time. That's perfect. So did that make you feel slightly better compared to that condition?
It's hard. This is hard. When you were saying it, I was thinking to myself, I have to accept this. This is what I've struggled with for 3.5 years. So
Okay, let's do it step by step. First, gratitude. Count your blessings. Ignore that condition. I said gratitude means ignore that condition. Count blessings related to health in other areas. So, other than this condition, you have perfect health otherwise, right? You have great health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but it's like quite encompassing. I mean, it affects a lot of you.
Yeah, but
But
like,
in my mind, I feel good.
let's think about it. Like, there are far bigger diseases to be had out there. You know, you're still perfectly fine. You're able to do your job. You know, you're able to do whatever you need to do. So it affects in some ways. So if we ignore that, there are other blessings you have, health-wise, your condition-wise, your money-wise, your family-wise. So, are there lots of blessings that you count other than this condition? There's so many good things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's made me think in a more enlightened way. If it was not for the condition, I certainly don't think I'd be sitting somewhere like this, which I'm grateful, very grateful for. So it sort of opened up a lot of things about myself I didn't know existed before. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, grateful for family,
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
family, yeah. And so there are lots of great, so if you count all those things that you're grateful for, do you think that they are far more and far bigger than this one condition,
Yeah.
right? So that means you have a lot more positive in your life than one negative condition. And other than this condition, a lot of other things are really good, really. They can be better, but they are good.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
So it's just one thing, right? So overall your life is still good.
Yeah, when you put it like that, yeah.
See
But
how
I guess
easy,
it is about how you think about it, yeah.
yeah, how easy it is,
Yeah.
right? So this is basically just one of the ways. Like, let's take one more example for gratitude. Like, let's say one more condition. Any other volunteer? Something different.
I haven't got a medical condition, but
But some
I
other
understand.
condition.
Right, well, this is from my experience. I had quite a lot of issues at home with my sister, and as you said, I knew I had to move up the emotional steps scale that I was reading about. So I did that kind of naturally anyway. So I went through the anger, went through the blame, and then I realised it's okay to feel that way, because who's to say that that's wrong, because it's making me feel better.
Yes.
So I got there, and then now I've achieved that, and now I just let her be, and we have a better relationship. She says something I don't like, I don't say it's wrong, I just walk away. That's, to her it's right in her life. To me, it's not part of my life, so I don't need it in my life, so I walk away.
Yeah.
But that's something that I've been able to achieve through what you're saying, by moving up the emotional and thinking about better things, from moving away from that and focusing on actually what, say if she said something that I may not like, move away and thinking of what I do like rather than what she's put into my mind.
Yeah, I think this is very important. I think right now we are only talking about circumstances, but it's a very important point you raised. We'll talk about relationship with others in one of the future sessions, how to be at peace with that. But it's very important that you're saying that you had not a very great relation with someone, but you only worked on your own thoughts, and that allowed you to have a better relation with the other person. You did not need to change the other person.
Exactly.
So just by working on your own thoughts, you are able to improve the condition which is not beyond your control. You know? Which is very significant, because that's what we are talking about. When you have those conversations with yourself, you move slightly feeling better until things actually start feeling good. So any other example, like any volunteers on some particular thing that is bothering you or keeps bothering you all the time, not related to health?
Nothing bothers me.
I was at the stage where things did bother me, but I do find like less and less. I feel like I'm almost getting to your bliss state, and things are coming at me quicker, definitely. Just people that I know I need to meet and have in my life, just popping up all the time, which is lovely. Yeah, and so I just feel like I just need that extra little nudge, and that's what I'm trying to get from this class, really, because I feel like I'm almost there. But it is hard to stay positive all the time. But the little techniques that you're suggesting there kind of make sense. To simplify it, to break it down to smaller chunks, so it's easier to keep with it. To just say, wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah.
Is so easy. And it does do what you say. It takes away the negative, because like you say, when you think, oh, I really want this, but that's going to happen, you're straight away throwing an obstacle at it, aren't you? A speed bump even, or a stop sign. So yeah, I like that. Wouldn't it be nice? And I do honestly feel at the moment that I'm quite grateful for everything that's around me. Attitude of gratitude. And I am very grateful for everything that's happening now.
So I think it's very important that you said that, because you're saying that because you have been reaching that higher and higher state, now things have suddenly started popping into life, people, circumstances, things. That itself is an evidence that, and I've seen that in my life, and Lane is saying that, and you've said that as well. So basically, once you start practicing that, you would see that. And the way to achieve that, because I noticed, was that it's very hard to work on all aspects of your negative energy and clean up your vibration all at once. And that's the reason for these steps, breaking it down one at a time. First you become at peace with your circumstances, then you become at peace with yourself, your own self, no guilt. Then you become at peace with people around you and relationships. And then you start working on all the things around you. So once you reach a stable platform, so let's say this week, the exercise for this week for everyone would be that all the things that create any negative emotions in you, which keep repeating, certain patterns keep repeating, the circumstances only, not about you, not about people, only things like lack of money, health, those kind of things. Just focus on those things, apply these practices, gratitude, count your blessings, won't it be nice, I don't want this, what do I want instead, and conversations with self. Try to keep feeling better and better and better. Just for 1 week, just practice that on a daily life. And then once, I think within a week you would reach a stable platform where those things would not bother you anymore. The next stage would be to work on your own self, be at peace with who I am, and then be at peace with everyone around me. And once you have reached that stage, then you would be at a platform that a lot of these resisting thoughts would be gone. And then when you set an intent, a lot of these things would start manifesting on their own. And that's what Lane is saying. Is happening in her life. Your relationships would improve. All the relationships that you think are struggling right now, they would actually improve. I've seen that happen in my own life. And things that you're wanting to do, you may not even have to do those things. You would get invitation from others. Like this invitation, I got invitation from Lynn. People in the meditation groups that I was attending, they asked me to come and run these sessions. I did not have to go and try to sell that I'm going to run these sessions, why don't you come in and join. I didn't have to go tell Lynn, oh Lynn, can you let me borrow this room? She invited me, people invited me. And once you reach that stage, these things start happening. So It's happening in Lane's life. She's been following law of attraction for quite some time. It started happening in my life, and you would see when it starts happening in your life. So first week, get to that platform where you are, and trust me on this. Any single thing that you have, the most difficult of the things that you have in life, can be overcome. You could start feeling good about it. There is nothing that you can't overcome emotionally. So any one last example? Any other condition? Okay, let me take one example of my own life. There were some negative things that happened with me in terms of people, right? And so I had to quit a job, because of certain situations that occurred. And I felt really, really angry and painful that I thought that, I had gone through a lot of injustice. And for several years, I was like struggling to deal with it. I was like having nightmares. I was feeling like thoughts of revenge. It was just so painful. And then last few months, I've just come to terms with it. How I did was, I said if I would not have quit that job, I would not have tried to learn these things that I'm learning. I would not have had my connection with God. I would not have set up this company where I got this great new invention which could actually become one of the biggest things in the world. It could become as big as Google or Apple. So I wouldn't have got there where I am today if I would have been still doing that job. So and secondly, I have attracted all those things to myself, right? So why should I blame those people? Because those people are nice to others. Maybe they did something to me. So that's basically, how could I blame them? It's something that my own vibrations probably attracted to me because I believe in law of attraction. So everything that happened to me attracted. So what's their fault? So why should I be, so I kept doing that. And then I said, okay, maybe I want to forgive. But forgiveness doesn't help because who am I to forgive? I'm not some like higher power and they're not some lower beings that I forgive them, right? So it doesn't work like that. And secondly, why should I even be in this pain? Because they are happily living their lives. They got promotions, whatever. They got all the success that they wanted, as part of whatever they did to me. I am the only person in pain. I am the one who is suffering. So, I should not be suffering. If I want, they should be suffering, but they're not. I am suffering, so I need to get out of this suffering. And so basically I kept doing that. And then I said, I can't even forgive them because I'm not some super being and they're not some people who have done something wrong. So it's not about forgiveness, it's about being at peace with them. But then I realized it's not even being at peace with them because they are at peace with themselves. It's about me being at peace with myself when I'm, when I hear about them and talk about them and I think about them. So I kept doing that, having these conversations to myself over and over and over again until I realized that I actually like those people. I'm actually grateful to some of those people because I feel joy that whatever happened put me down a path which led me to where I am. Where, I can see the whole world sitting in front of me. And all I have to do is just walk that path. My business, my self-realization, my connection with God. I have so much to thank those people that they put me down this path. I feel joy every time I think of them. I feel grateful to them. I thank them. I feel so happy that I am here where I am today. All because of things that happen. I mean, everyone can find that. Any comments?
You just explained the whole situation that was in my life.
You're like,
Absolutely, totally. Do you know that? And you just made me see a way around it. Out of it. The whole thing.
it's perfect.
It was
I'm
perfect.
glad to be able to help.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's Catherine. I think there's something with you this week. I keep picking on Catherine, but I don't know, there's something with this girl this week, over the last 2 weeks. Excuse me. Where I actually found myself saying a similar thing to you about your illness this week, didn't I? And saying, actually, you're going to look back and think, in a way, thank God that happened, which from where you're sitting at this present time seems almost impossible, but I think you're slowly realising that there's a lesson here, and you're going to move forward from this and recover from this, and then in fact look back on the illness and be grateful for it, because of the changes it's made to you and your family and everything that's going to be in your life. It's like you say, you wouldn't be sitting here. And if you actually properly get your head around what Pankaj is saying here, it can transform everything for you. So
I believe it can, but I do get stuck a little bit with the, and I quite like that you said, have the thoughts of revenge and to get it out of your system. For me, I think that's going to work.
Yeah, just get it out of your system, but don't stay at revenge. Keep moving up, keep feeling better, keep feeling better, keep feeling better, until you reach a state of joy.
Yeah. I'm gonna really try that this week. I don't think I'm gonna say it straight away. I was really trying to put my mind in that place when you was asking us to say those things.
So just observe yourself.
Yes.
Does that new thought make you feel better than before? If it does, follow that.
Yeah. I think it's a big one for me, but I'm really gonna try and put my mind to that this week.
And let's do it one step at a time, because it's very complex field, law of attraction. Trying to do too many processes or like once just doesn't work. So stabilize yourself with your circumstances, be at peace with where you are, I am where I am and I'm pleased with it. Then we'll work on I am who I am and I'm pleased with it. And I am at peace with everyone around me. Once you cross these 3 biggest hurdles, these are the 3 main resisting thought patterns which stop any big things from manifesting into your life. Once you overcome that, you would reach, within 3 weeks, you would reach a stable platform where from then on, a lot of these manifestations would just happen like that. Like it's happening in Lynn's life, happening in my life. You have seen a relationship improve.
okay, can I ask, I think what Catherine's trying to say there, if you don't truly feel I am where I am and I'm pleased with it, if you don't truly feel that you're pleased with where you are, what do you do about that?
No, that's what we are talking about.
So that's what you,
Slightly better.
Slightly
better.
So you have to observe why you're not pleased with what's going on in your life. Is that what you're saying? And then find something slightly better.
So what makes you feel slightly better? Blame it on someone, talk about revenge, frustration, anger. Once you stabilize that, from that point figure out what makes you feel slightly better. Keep having those slightly better thoughts. So you may not, from a point of pain, you cannot suddenly start saying, oh, I feel great. It's very difficult. So you have to take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Whatever emotional state you're in, what emotional state makes you feel slightly better? Which thoughts put you in that emotional state? Once you're there, what thoughts make you feel slightly better? Which thoughts, what makes you feel better? Keep doing. You don't have to have state of bliss about it. As long as you're neutral about it, it doesn't bother you anymore, you'll be fine.
Okay, that's helpful too, that you don't have to be
No.
in bliss about it and joyful about it.
As long as you can ignore it and just live with it. So basically, we're saying make peace with your circumstances. Not necessarily feel joyful about every single circumstance.
Sounds doable.
So next week we'll work on, I am who I am. And that's going to be very important as well. I'm pleased with it, and different processes.
So this week's one is I am where I am and I'm pleased with it.
Yes, that's the intent. This week's exercises, these 3 processes. I'll write it on my blog, and you could just again these processes you can read about it, talk about, and try to implement them this week. And next week we'll talk about who I am, and then keep moving forward.
Are you going to write your blog down for us? How we get to your blog?
Yeah. It's on facebook.com/Bhagavad Gita. BHAG. I'll write it down somewhere.
Yeah. I'll put it
Oh, no, sorry, not Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Yoga.
Where's your Kundalini?
Thank you.
You said earlier that you could go, I feel like that now. She said what you said.
Yeah, that happens, yeah.
Yeah. You? Yeah.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, then we can end this session. Thank you for all coming in. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. That was amazing.